Hey guys, and welcome back to chapter 57 of David Walliams' Codename Bananas, titled Ticklish. Now remember, even if you're ticklish, you still have to answer the questions at the end of the chapter, so pay close attention so you can retell us the story at the end. Let's get started with chapter 57, Ticklish. Time passed, but Eric kept checking the clock on the wall in the captain's cabin. It was now 11:45, just 15 minutes until midnight, when the U-boat and everyone in it was going to destroy the Houses of Parliament. Kaboom! Winston Churchill, everyone in the British government, and all three heads of the armed forces would be killed instantly. The Nazis would then be free to invade Britain, just as they'd marched into so much of Europe. Well, who'd have thought that by rescuing Gertrude from the zoo that we'd end up here, said Sid. It's lucky we did, replied Eric. Lucky? How? We got a chance to be heroes. You're right. That's all I've ever wanted, said the old man, tears building up in his eyes. My legs were taken from me all those years ago on my very first day on the battlefields of France. I was sent straight back to Blighty. Now, I've got one last chance to finally be a hero. This is it. We can do it. Uncle Sid, me and you, and of course Gertrude here can save Churchill. The gorilla nodded. Gertrude wasn't sure exactly what she was nodding for, but she was always up for adventure. How can we? Asked Sid. I don't know yet. I'm only 11. But first things first, we need to get out of these chains, said the boy, rattling away at them with little effort. Kerchang! They're impossible for us to break through, added Sid as he tried to. Kerchang! For us, yes, but maybe not for Gertrude. She is so strong that she broke through her cage, remember? This stopped Sid in his tracks. The boy had a point. But how are we going to tell Gertrude to break through the chains? I don't speak gorilla, and neither do you. She'll understand if we mime, suggested Eric. She might. Both of them performed their best pantomime of the chains being torn apart. But sadly, Gertrude merely shook her head and frowned as if they were both bananas. I've got an idea, exclaimed the boy. If we tickle her, she might just wiggle enough to break this pipe. Then we'd be free. With his head, Eric nodded to the pipe running along the floor. It was thick steel pipe, one of hundreds that snaked along the length of the U-boat. It's worth a try, agreed Sid. Let's take off our shoes. You what? We'll have to use our toes to tickle. I don't have any toes. 10 toes. Just try. The pair kicked off their shoes. Next, with great difficulty, they maneuvered themselves into position, where their feet were at the same level as Gertrude's armpits. For most people, armpits are the most ticklish spot. But when they both tickled the gorilla, she hardly reacted at all. Tickle, tickle, tickle. It was like Gertrude was experiencing a pleasant scratch, rather than something that was going to make her squirm. She smiled to herself and closed her eyes. She's not ticklish under her armpits, cursed the boy. Let's try under her chin. Once again, the pair contorted themselves into new positions where now their feet could be level with the gorilla's chin. It's not easy at my age, complained Sid, as his bottom found itself under Eric's nose. Don't make any sudden movements, snapped the boy, fearing the worst. Now they tickled the gorilla under her chin and with their feet. Tickle, tickle, tickle. All Gertrude did this time was yawn. Yawn. Fiddlesticks, cursed the boy. Where on earth is Gertrude ticklish? If only they had this handy guide. Where to tickle a gorilla. Behind the ears, not ticklish. Under the chin, not ticklish. Underarms, not ticklish. Belly, not ticklish. Behind the knees, not ticklish. Palms of the hands, not ticklish. Toes, not ticklish. Balls of the feet, tickle hot spot. This gorilla tickling experiment went on for quite a while until the pair finally hit gold. The balls of her feet. Sid and Eric ended up upside down doing tickle, tickle, tickle. Immediately, the gorilla was whooping with laughter. Hee, hee, hee! Not just that. She was now rocking and wiggling with such force that the metal chains they were all attached to yanked against the pipe. Kerching! Keep going, Gertrude, said Eric. You can do it, girl, egged on Sid. With some difficulty, the pair kept tickling the underside of Gertrude's huge, furry feet. Tickle, tickle, tickle. The more they tickled, the more she convulsed. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Hee, hee, hee! Kerching, kerching, kerching. Eventually, snap! The pipe broke into two, spraying sparks of electricity into the cabin. Fizzle, frazzle, fozzle. With the pipe snapped, Sid and Eric could free themselves too and scrambled to their feet. Yes, exclaimed the boy. The boys are back in business, agreed Sid. They both hugged Gertrude tight. With her ginger eyes, the gorilla indicated the thick rope that was still tied around her. Oh, yes, of course, said Eric. As fast as they could, he and Sid unwrapped her like a Christmas present. There you go, Gertrude. And sorry about tickling you, said the boy, but it was the only way. The sparks from the electric cables in the pipe were now exploding into the cabin. Fizzle, fazzle, fuzzle. It was like fireworks display. Whiz, snapple, bang. Sparks flew higher and higher until the Nazi flag was alight. Whoomph. Best thing for it, remarked Sid. However, smoke was burning the flag, must have set off an alarm as the U-boat throbbed with the sound of a bell. Dring! We need to get out of here, said Eric. At that moment, the cabin door swung open. The Braun twins stood in the doorway, sporting swastika armbands and wielding their machine guns. On seeing the three had escaped from their chains, Bertha barked. We've had quite enough of you three ruining our plans. Helena added, Prepare to die. And that is where we're going to end for today, because that's the end of chapter 57. Now, if you like this chapter, make sure you tell me all the stuff you remember about this chapter, about what happened. We'll see you tomorrow for chapter 58, Bottom on Fire. Getting a little toasty.